BBC News with Sue Montgomery. The Taliban are tightening their grip on Afghanistan. In the eastern city of Jalalabad, they violently put down an anti-Taliban demonstration, reportedly shooting dead a number of people. There are also reports that they have shot and injured 3 boys in Kunar province. Sikandar Kermani, who's in Kabul, says in many respects life in the capital seems to be returning to normal, despite an intimidating Taliban presence.
Heavily armed Taliban patrols are all around, but shops and streets are busier than they've been since the takeover. There are far fewer women out and about than before, and they're dressed more conservatively, though not in the all-encompassing burqa. Many major businesses have sent female employees home, unsure whether the Taliban will allow them to work. But there have been signs of defiance. A number of demonstrators were reportedly shot dead in Jalalabad.
The Pentagon has said the security situation at Kabul airport is currently stable, and the Taliban are facilitating safe passage to the airport for US passport holders. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark Milley, said the US military intended to increase capacity for evacuations, but warned that the security situation was fluid and dangerous.
Our mission is to secure that airfield, defend that airfield, and evacuate all those who have been faithful to us. Right now, there are troops at risk, and we are the United States military, and we fully intend to successfully evacuate all American citizens who want to get out of Afghanistan. They are our priority number 1. In addition, we intend to evacuate those who have been supporting us for years, and we're not going to leave them behind.
Addressing the speed of the Taliban advance, General Milley said he'd seen nothing that indicated a collapse of the Afghan army and government in 11 days. President Joe Biden says nursing homes will need to make sure all their staff have received a COVID-19 vaccine if they want to access the country's Medicare and Medicaid programs. In a speech, the president added that he wanted school children to continue wearing masks, adding that legal measures would be taken against state governors who don't enforce their use.
I'm directing the Secretary of Education, an educator himself, to take additional steps to protect our children. This includes using all of his oversight authorities and legal action, if appropriate, against governors who are trying to block and intimidate local school officials and educators. If you aren't going to fight COVID-19, at least get out of the way of everyone else who's trying.
The administration also confirmed it will continue to require people to wear masks on planes, trains and buses until January next year. World News from the BBC. Islamist insurgents are reported to have killed nearly 50 people in northern Burkina Faso. Local media said about 30 of them were civilians, the others soldiers and members of a pro-government militia. Security sources say about 60 militants were killed in the ensuing battle near the town of Arbinda. European Union interior ministers have pledged to send resources to the EU's borders with Belarus to cope with what they see as an orchestrated influx of migrants. Over the past few months, thousands of people, mainly from Iraq, have crossed illegally into the EU. Here's our Europe correspondent, Jean Mackenzie.
Ministers have called this recent surge in migration a direct attack by Belarus aimed at destabilising the European Union, and they've condemned the regime for using human beings as instruments for political purposes. They've agreed to send equipment to strengthen the borders the EU shares with Belarus in Lithuania, Latvia and Poland. The EU is accusing President Lukashenko of encouraging migrants to travel to Belarus, then forcing them to cross the border. Lithuania is building a fence to stop people arriving, while Poland has sent more than 900 soldiers to help its border guards.
The government in Algeria says it will review its relations with neighbouring Morocco after accusing Rabat of hostile acts. Algeria blames Morocco for its alleged support for the Movement for Self-Determination of Kabylie, a separatist movement in the mainly Berber region of Kabylie, which Algiers classifies as terrorist. The prosecution has made its opening statements at the trial of the American R&B singer R. Kelly in New York. The prosecutor said the musician had targeted, groomed and exploited young girls and boys for his own satisfaction, calling him a sexual predator. He has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing. BBC News.